What up brothers, it's Clip King returning for another new review. The figure I'll be reviewing today is the Hot Toys Iron Man 3 Mark 27 Disco figure. It is a Toy Fair exclusive from Hot Toys, so they say they're quite limited, hard to get. You had to be at the Toy Fair to pick them up yourself, or know an Hong Kong seller that queued and got them and you've paid over the odds to get it. That's pretty much how it works. So I'm going to review the figure. I will say at the start, you know I'm not a massive Iron Man fan. I do like the die-cast figures and I pretty much always keep one Iron Man figure in my collection. I'll start off by saying this would never be the one I would have. I would always have one of the sort of original armours, so one of the armours you see Tony wear. But I know there is a lot of Iron Man collectors out there who are into the House Party Protocol figures and do try to get all the armours. If that's your thing, fair enough, and to respect you, I am going to give this a fair review. I'm also going to say I'm not going to handle it too much because it's somebody else's figure. It has been sold straight after I bought it, so the likes of the light features I'm not going to show, simply because I've seen it 1,000 times before. I can talk about it without putting them on, and also because it is someone else's figure. So let's crack on and get straight onto the packaging. As you can see, very in theme to the House Party Protocol figures that we've seen in the past. So all the different marks pretty much all turn up at the end of Iron Man 3, if you remember, and Tony pretty much jumps from one suit to the other. I don't remember seeing this figure, but I don't really take that much notice. A lot of the other Iron Men that have come out, the Heartbreaker, the Peacekeeper, this one and that one, Starburst, I don't remember them all. When I watch it sometimes I think, oh, I remember that figure now, and I know it because of the figure that's been released. I would never collect them because I'm not a all of armour kind of guy, but like I say, I think because of the collectors do really like them and are loyal to them, they have kept the boxes really uniform. As you see, it's in theme with the figure, so it's the blue and orange. Like I said earlier, it does have the exclusive sticker on this. The box is in good condition and it is a good quality of card. It is just a slip cover with the plastic clams inside, quite functional, but very, very average. So for that reason, I'm going to score the packaging a 3 out of a possible 5. I'm going to straight onto the likeness, and I'm going to start off by telling you, like I said, I can't tell you where this figure even turns up. What I can tell you is I recognise parts from it. So when I look at the head sculpt, I see the War Machine. Now that's a bold statement because I think now there's about 5 different War Machines, various die-cast versions of it, the Iron Patriot, so on and so forth. Now the reason I think it's the War Machine is the sort of broad section down the middle and this sort of design, and also the lines on the mask. The mask is not removable, as in there's no faceplate underneath, so there's no point to that, although the top does open and that is where your batteries are kept. It looks pretty good to me. It captures the light really nicely, as you see. The light from the camera is bouncing off it. It's very metallic looking, although like the rest of the figure, very, very hollow and plasticky feeling. Nowhere near the quality that we expect with the Iron Man die-cast or the Robocop die-cast or figures like that. They are pretty much as if they want you to put them in the all of armour, stand them up with the rest that you've got, and people who come to visit your house would be in awe by the overall collection, not the individual figure. Now some Iron Man fans might turn around to me and say, Rick, you don't respect him, so you're probably not a authority on that. To that, I would say save your comment. I know that. I'm just reviewing it simply because I managed to pick the figure up. But the likeness, how do I score it? Do I say, yeah, it looks totally like him? Because I'd be bullshitting you because I don't even remember what he looks like. What I'm going to say is it's unmistakably an Iron Man figure. And the colour that it shows, and from the picture I have seen, it does look pretty accurate. So for that reason, I'm going to score the likeness. I'm going to score it a 3, but it's going to seem like I'm being tight towards the figure. So I am going to score it a 4 and a possible 5 for the facial likeness. So moving on to the outfit, and because it's an Iron Man figure, I can't talk about the outfit as such, like it's a fabric garment or how it's fitted to the body. What I'm simply going to comment on is the look and feel, the quality of the armour, and then also I'm going to include the articulation. I won't do a full articulation test on this because again, I've reviewed that many Iron Men, there's nothing too new to talk about. So I'm going to show you the articulated parts and how they move. As you can see, the air brakes are out on the back, giving it a sort of a wing design, and you can see where it moves, and I will talk you through it. So on the look of the figure, if you were to be able to get it out of the box without actually touching it, it looks really good. The metallic spray paint, the way it catches the light, as you can see as it moves around, it is very impressive. The sort of very metallic blue and the very striking orange. It has subtle weathering on or scratches, as you can see on the elbow here. Nothing too major. You wouldn't say it's full out battle damage, but it does have wear and tear. So that is a quite a nice touch and gives it an hint of realism. But on top of how it looks, you've also got to consider now how it feels. And like I said, it has a very cheap, toyish feeling. And when I say toyish, you think about taking a £30 Transformer out of the box. I don't even know if Transformers cost £30 anymore. But something like that, sort of a kid's toy, out of a clam tray style toy box. It has a certain feel, a creak when you touch it. It's something that says it looks pretty good, but the quality's not really there. I don't know, it doesn't seem like an expensive item. This figure pretty much reeks of that. Like most of these Iron Men, sort of secondary Iron Men, let's call them, they all feel the same. They feel a little bit rushed to me. It's like they've thrown unused parts from other armours together, made them look something like cool, and then give them a new spray colour. I know there's books out there that show all the different armours and people who are into that. Fair play to you. If that's what you want to be into, that's your choice. Like I said, to a neutral like me, it just would never draw me to the Iron Man line because it seems like they're really milking it. A lot of people do say this through Facebook and various forums, and I do agree with it. They've gone a little bit too far, but as long as they're not sort of making the figures that I want on top of the Iron Man figures, then I can't really complain too much. So, the look of the outfit is really nice. Again, I can't tell you if it's 100% accurate. All I will say is, if you display it, I think it's going to be eye-catching down to the colour. It does look nice when posed up, I think you would agree. I've got him rotating for you, as you can see. The legs out, the arms out, the sort of beetle wing design on the air flaps at back, which do look pretty nice. So on the look of the outfit, I don't know. What I'm going to say is I'm straight down middle. It doesn't look shit and it doesn't look amazing. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 3 out of a possible 5. Talk about the articulation. We'll start at the top. The head does go back as much as I've done it. It doesn't go no further back than that. So you couldn't get it really flying. There is slight articulation at the lower neck section. As you move down, he has the shoulder pods that are interchangeable, but obviously aren't changed, and they attach to the top set of air brakes. I will say this section also does pop out if you wanted to, and this section here, so it is articulated there. Underneath the top set of wings, let's call them, there is another set which go right down his back like so you could bring that one down like that. Obviously the stand stopping it going right in, so that is nice. The shoulders do float like most Iron Man figures, and then there is good articulation at the upper arm. Also, the elbow section can be pulled down about ½ centimetre to give improved articulation through the elbow, and then it does bend at 2 different points, giving quite a nice... Let's put a little stop in there. Giving quite a nice bend. You hear the ratchet? It's a nice bend on the elbow. The battery housing is inside there to light up the eyes and the switch, but obviously I haven't put the batteries in. And it's the fist that's on at the moment, so you wouldn't see the light anyway. So there is that. The hand articulation is pretty good and does pop on and off pretty easily. Also, reading the instruction manuals, it tells you how to pop off the shoulder pods to put on the open shoulder pods. It also says that the chest section will pop out and sort of this rib case section. Now there's nothing to change them sections for, so I don't know why they pop off, obviously just to show the inner workings, but I can't see that being too impressive. I might show it later, but I probably won't. So yeah, pretty good articulation. Again, you can pull the ab section apart, and that will then improve the rotation, the twist. As you see, I've got him pretty well twisted. The abs are open, and it will also do a pretty good crunch. Moving down to the pelvic section, again, these sort of flaps do lift out and come out of the way. As you can see, I have got them out, but then they will push back in like so if you want legs down. And then the sort of axle that's inside the pelvis does drop down again about ½ centimetre to improve the kick on the leg. So then the leg will go up there, mind that section against that, because you don't want to get no paint rub. Moving down through the knee, again it articulates inside there and inside there. The knee pads do float really nicely and don't seem to get in the way, so that is quite nice. And then it goes down into quite a bulky looking leg, again nicely painted, but there's no moving parts on there that I know of, although I thought that this moved, but I don't know how it moves. It feels loose, but I don't know how it moves. I think it slides, sort of just, see it slide up and then slide down like that. See, that is the movement there. And also the old foot section will drop down again about 1/2 centimetre, so you could get articulation through the foot, which is why his toe is pointing right down on that one. Then the upper foot floats like it always does, and that is pretty much all the articulation. Again, it is really good. You can get into some dynamic poses, but you get that sort of, that fucking hell creak sort of thing, where it starts with, when you're moving it around, you think, fuck, I'm gonna break something. That is how it feels. Again, it don't feel like a quality item, but I will say it has moved to all the positions that I've tried to do, even when I'm getting it ready to film this. So again, I'm conflicted. It does move nicely. The ratchets work nicely in the elbow. It will do most poses, but again, you're always conscious of that. When I move my Mark 45, put it like this, when I move my Mark 45, it feels like a solid item that you're never gonna break unless you get a proper twatting. Whereas this one doesn't feel like that. So again, I'm going straight down the line with the articulation. I've seen it all before, although it is really well engineered. So for that reason, again, I'm going to give it a 3 and a possible 5. Rolling on to his extras and accessories. Again, as you can see, I've laid them out. He's not what you would call fully loaded by any stretch of the imagination. So let's talk about what he does bring. It brings the base that we've seen 1,000 times before. Again, I think it fits inside the all of armour sort of sections that you can buy from Hot Toys. Again, I do agree with the stand. I think it could be lit up, but they're sort of trying to keep them all in theme, so I can understand why they give it. It does class as a diorama base, although it's not the most adventurous you're ever going to see, but it does hold the figure quite nicely. As I move up, I'll show you, I have now put on the interchangeable Mark 7 style shoulder pods and brought up this section at the back, used it sort of a deflector shield or something like that, I don't know. As you can see, the missile heads inside there, quite nice. But again, it's underwhelming because we've seen it so many times, so that's what I would say of it. And we're going to class that as a weapon, but because it's an interchangeable part of his outfit, I can't really do that. Moving down, you see you get plenty of batteries for the arms, for the chest and for the eyes. Like I said, I've not put those in because it's someone else's figure and I don't want to do it if they don't want the batteries in, so that's why I haven't done it. The instruction manual, which I have had a flick through, which pretty much tells you how it moves and how the batteries go in. Read it all before, but I would recommend anybody who's handling an Iron Man for the first time, have a look through that. Moving across to the spare hands, he has 2 fists, as you see. Then he has the awesome articulated hands that most Iron Men bring. And then he does have the repulsor blast hand that sort of attaches to his arm like that, so it does look like he's blasting. And then the interchangeable shoulder pods. Not a lot, and the way I've counted it up is I've given it a point for the base and a point for the spare hands. So it's got a 2 and a possible 5. Can't really think of what else it should have had. Maybe a Tony Stark likeness underneath. People will then say, well, you didn't see it in the film, so then I can understand why they don't give you that. Although, when the figure costs as much as it does, it possibly should have brought something else. So I'm going to go straight into value and tell you that for an exclusive figure, it weren't the boosted price or the over elevated price I was expecting. Although as more and more come out of Hong Kong, the price will go up. We see it all the time. It was a lot cheaper than Batman, as most of you will know, but you don't get much bang for your buck, and I can't see it being a massively sought after figure outside the Asia market. That's the honest truth of it. I could be totally wrong, but I'm not sure. It weighed in at like the 220 sort of mark, just over. So for that, you can't get awesome value because, like I said, it don't bring a shitload of extras, and we used to get DX figures for less than that. So for that reason, I'm going to score the value a 3 out of a possible 5. So the figure gets a total of 18 out of a possible 30. Not an amazing score, but that's coming from a non-Iron Man fan. So I've tried not to be biased. I've tried to be fair, give you my full thoughts. The figure basically is a necessity if you're an Iron Man collector. Outside of that, I think it's going to be an easy pass. But that would be my overall thoughts. It wouldn't be a figure that I wouldn't want it in my collection, but most of you know that without me even saying it. But if you're an Iron Man fan, again, I think you'll be happy to receive it. Another review done. Please like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. For now, it's the Clipper King, and I'm out of here.